America is the richest country on earth, and somehow millions of people are living like they're one flat tire away from homelessness. Let that sink in. Not broke, not tight this month. I mean one unexpected bill, one dentist appointment, one sick child, one rent increase, and the whole life you've been building collapses like a cheap plastic chair at a family reunion. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Poverty in America doesn't always look like sleeping on the street. No, no. In 2026, poverty has upgraded. It has Wi-Fi, it has a smartphone, it has a job, sometimes two. It even smiles at work and says, "I'm good," while silently calculating whether groceries or electricity gets paid this week. That's what makes this so disturbing. America didn't defeat poverty, it just gave it better packaging. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're in the right place. We talk about the real world, the uncomfortable truths, and the things the news conveniently skips over because it ruins the everything is fine vibe. In this video, we're breaking down what's really happening behind the scenes, the silent traps, the invisible struggles, the psychological toll, and why the middle class has started feeling like a mythical creature people used to believe in. So stay with me till the end, because when we get to the final part of this breakdown, you'll understand why so many people feel like they're drowning, even while doing everything right. If you're ready for the truth, hit like, subscribe, and let's get into it. 1. America is rich, but Americans are broke. America loves to brag, loudly, constantly, like that one cousin who brings up their business at every family gathering, even though the business is just reselling phone cases online. Because on paper, the United States is a financial monster, the biggest economy on earth, home to trillion-dollar companies, billionaire CEOs, and enough luxury brands to make you wonder if everyone is secretly rich but you. The GDP numbers look like a cheat code. Wall Street is partying, tech companies are swimming in money. Corporate profits keep hitting record highs. And yet, regular Americans are out here living like unpaid interns in their own country. That's the part no one wants to say out loud. America is wealthy, but the wealth doesn't live with the people. It lives in boardrooms, offshore accounts, and stock portfolios most families will never touch. The country is rich in the same way a fancy hotel is rich, beautiful from the outside, but the staff goes home exhausted and underpaid. Meanwhile, millions of people are doing everything they were told to do: work hard, stay consistent, be responsible, and still can't afford rent without stress sweating through their shirt. Many households can't handle a small emergency expense without borrowing. Credit cards have become survival tools. Savings are treated like a luxury. It's like living in a buffet where the food is endless, but you're only allowed to smell it. And what makes it worse is the gaslighting. When people complain, they're retold to budget better, as if the problem is buying one too many eggs. No, the problem is that the game is profitable, but it's not fair. 2. Poverty doesn't look like poverty anymore. Poverty in America used to have a clear look: empty fridge, torn clothes, someone asking for spare change. Now, poverty upgraded. It got a fresh haircut, a smartphone, and a Netflix subscription because apparently modern survival requires entertainment to distract you from how bad things are. That's what makes today's poverty so sneaky. It blends in. People assume if you're poor, you must be homeless, jobless, or visibly struggling. But the new version of poverty is quieter, and honestly, more dangerous because it's easier to ignore. In America, you can be broke and still look fine. You can have a job and still be drowning. You can have a car and still pray it doesn't make any suspicious sounds. You can have health insurance and still avoid the hospital like it's a haunted house. And you can post smiling pictures online while your bank account is doing backflips into overdraft. This is what poverty looks like now: a life held together by duct tape, stress, and monthly payment plans. A person isn't living, they're juggling rent, utilities, gas, groceries, debt, and that one surprise bill that shows up like an uninvited guest. And it's not that people aren't working. They're working, they're just not winning. Poverty now hides behind phrases like, "I'm just behind this month, I'm rebuilding, it's tight right now." No, that's not tight. That's structural struggle. And the most brutal part, society expects you to act normal while you're financially suffocating. Smile at work. Be productive. Stay motivated. Meanwhile, your mind is screaming, "How long can I keep this up?" Number 3. Rent is the biggest poverty machine in America. If poverty had a headquarters in America, it wouldn't be in some back alley. It would be inside the leasing office, right next to the now renting sign. Because rent isn't just expensive now, rent is oppressive. It's the number one bill that turns decent, hard-working people into full-time stress managers. And the messed up part is that rent doesn't care if you got a raise. It doesn't care if you work overtime. It doesn't care if you're trying your best. Rent looks at your paycheck and says, cute. Hand it over. In many places, rent eats up 40%, 50%, sometimes even 60% of someone's income. At that point you're not paying for a home, you're paying for permission to exist indoors. And once housing takes that much, everything else becomes a fight. That's why people can't save. That's why emergencies become disasters. That's why folks are living with roommates in their 30s and 40s like adulthood got cancelled. The American dream didn't die, it just got evicted. And what makes rent especially nasty is that it's not optional. You can delay buying clothes. You can skip certain groceries, but housing. You miss rent and suddenly you're learning new words like notice, court date, and pack your stuff. Rent is no longer a bill, it's a trap. A monthly reminder that the system is happy to squeeze you as long as you keep showing up. Number 4. The myth of just work harder. In America, the default solution to every financial problem is always the same: work harder. As if your landlord accepts motivational quotes as payment. You're struggling, get another job. You're tired, hustle anyway. You're broke, grind harder. You're burned out. That's life. And people actually try it. They pick up shifts, start side hustles, drive rideshare at night, sell stuff online, do freelance work, and somehow still end up short. That's because the problem isn't effort. The problem is the reward for effort has shrunk. Wages don't match the cost of living anymore. You can work 40 hours a week and still be stuck. You can work 60 hours and still feel broke. That's not laziness, that's math. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain wide open. You can pour water all day, but it'll never feel full. And the sarcasm of it all. Corporations will praise your hard work while paying you the bare minimum to survive. Then society tells you to budget better, like you're not already doing financial gymnastics just to pay utilities. Hard work used to build stability, now it just builds exhaustion. America still sells the dream, but the price tag is your sanity. Number 5. Healthcare is a poverty trap disguised as coverage. Getting sick in America is like accidentally stepping into a bear trap. You might survive, but you're not walking away the same. Because healthcare here isn't just about treatment, it's about money. And medical bills are one of the fastest ways people fall into poverty. Even those with insurance still get wrecked. Because insurance in America often means, congratulations, you're covered. Now pay $3,000 first. People delay doctor visits. They avoid checkups. They skip prescriptions. They Google symptoms like it's a free trial doctor. Not because they want to, but because they're trying to protect their bank account. That's when poverty becomes medical. It's not just I don't have money. It's I can't risk getting help. That's terrifying. A country that can put people on the moon but can't guarantee basic health care without financial ruin. That's not a flex. And if you've ever had to decide between paying rent and going to the doctor, let me just say this: you're not irresponsible. You're living in a system where health is treated like a luxury product. Sickness shouldn't be a death sentence, but in America, it often is. Number 6. Food has become a financial decision. Groceries used to be simple. You went to the store, bought food, went home. Now it feels like you're preparing for war. Because food prices have turned basic meals into budget negotiations. People are standing in aisles doing mental math like accountants. If I buy this chicken, can I still afford eggs? That's not normal. That's stress with a shopping cart. Many families are shrinking portions, skipping meals, and leaning on food banks not because they're lazy, but because inflation made eating a luxury. And don't let anyone shame people for it either. Nobody should be working full-time and still relying on donations to feed their kids. The system tries to make it sound cute, too. They call it meal hacks, budget meals, cheap recipes, but let's be honest, half of those hacks are just poverty tutorials. When the solution to hunger becomes try drinking water to feel full, the problem isn't personal responsibility, it's a national failure. Food insecurity isn't just physical, it's mental. It changes how you think, how you plan, how you live. Every trip to the store becomes stress. A rich country shouldn't have people afraid of the grocery bill. But here we are, number 7. Poverty is now psychological. Poverty isn't just an empty bank account, it's an exhausted mind. Because living paycheck to paycheck doesn't just drain your wallet, it drains your spirit. The constant pressure creates anxiety, it creates irritability. It creates a quiet hopelessness that you can't explain without sounding dramatic. You start waking up already tired. Not physically tired, mentally tired. Because you're always calculating, always planning, always bracing for something to go wrong. You can't relax because your brain keeps whispering, what if the car breaks down? What if rent goes up? What if I lose my job? That's why poverty feels like drowning. Not because of one big wave, but because of endless small waves hitting you every month. Bills don't stop, debt doesn't pause. Needs don't wait. And the worst part, society makes it personal. People feel ashamed, like they're failing, like they're behind. But no one wants to admit the truth. Many Americans aren't living in poverty because they made bad choices, they're reliving in poverty because the system got expensive. Poverty is now a mental condition caused by financial pressure. It's constant fear with a smile on top. Number 8. The one emergency away class is the new normal. America's biggest group isn't the middle class anymore. It's the one emergency away class. These are people who look stable, but aren't. They have a job. They pay bills. They might even have nice things. But behind that, no real safety net. One emergency, just one, can destroy everything. One job loss, one hospital visit, one major car repair, one unexpected family issue, one rent increase. And suddenly the life they spent years building collapses like a Jenga tower. That's why so many people feel tense all the time. Because stability in America is fragile. It's not built on security, it's built on luck and timing. This is why people don't take vacations, why they fear taking days off, why they panic over small financial changes. Because they know something, they're not safe. They're just not hit yet. If your life can fall apart because of one bill, that's not stability. That's survival wearing nice clothes. Number 9. The country doesn't ignore poverty because it's rare. It ignores it because it's profitable. Here's the truth that makes everyone uncomfortable. Poverty is good business in America. It feeds industries. Payday loans, credit cards, overdraft fees, expensive rent, healthcare billing, buy now pay later schemes. Every time someone struggles, someone else profits. Poverty is not treated like a crisis, it's treated like a market. That's why it doesn't get solved. Because the system isn't broken, it's functioning exactly as designed. The stress you feel, that's revenue. The debt you carry, that's interest. The rent you pay, that's someone else's investment portfolio. And because poverty looks normal now, it's easier to ignore. People don't see it as poverty, they see it as life. They see people still working, still posting online, still buying things, and assume everything's fine. But behind the scenes, people are breaking, quietly, mentally, financially, emotionally. And that's why this conversation matters. Because the first step to change is refusing to pretend anymore. We are down to number 9. Thank you for watching, seriously. Today we exposed the truth. America may be wealthy, but regular people are struggling harder than ever. Poverty has been rebranded, rent and healthcare have become traps, and millions are living one emergency away from collapse. If this video spoke to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And comment below. What do you think is the biggest poverty trap in America right now? Rent, healthcare, wages, or food?